Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 7. And yeah, a couple of days ago we got a synopsis released for The Flash Season 7 Episode 9 titled Timeless, which is the third last episode of this Force's storyline, and then we will be going on to graphic novel number 4. But yeah, as I normally do whenever I do these types of synopsis videos, I will go over the synopsis, I will read over the synopsis and then break it all down bit by bit, and I'll be giving you guys my overall thoughts and theories to what I think could potentially be taking place during this episode. But as of now, we are just a week away for episode 8 of The Flash to air during the 4th of May and return from this break, and I'm very excited to see what they have for us. Obviously, last episode, that being episode 7, it was a heavily Killer Frost centered episode, and by the end of that episode she has turned herself into the CCPD and she's basically calling herself guilty due to her past crimes as Killer Frost. Now she's obviously a hero, but back in season 3 she wasn't, she was a villain. And yeah, she's now arrested, and picking up with episode 8, we will be dealing with this Frost trial and we'll be seeing whether she will be guilty and be sent to prison, or whether she will be not guilty and just walk away living her life as normal. But obviously, as we are midway into this graphic novel, we will be picking up with our Force's storyline as well, so we'll be going more in detail or more in depth with this storyline and we'll be progressing through it. And I'm guessing we will get a main villain reveal by the end of episode 8, in which the synopsis for episode 8 did give us a hint to who the main villain could be. Now, for the ones who have been consistently watching my videos, you guys know that since episode 6 aired, I had the theory that the Speed Force was going to be our main villain in some way. You guys could check that video out if you guys want to. It will be up on the top right hand corner as I'll place a card over there, or it will be linked in the description down below, just in case you guys want to see the synopsis breakdown first and then go on to that theory video. So yeah, from the episode 8 synopsis, we had the teaser about who the main villain could be. Well, episode 9 synopsis pretty much confirms who the main villain is, and yeah, we'll be breaking this synopsis down. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so the synopsis goes as followed. Barry seeks out Timeless Wells. After devastating betrayal, Barry turns to Timeless Wells for help. Meanwhile, Iris leads Team Citizen down a dangerous road in search of answers, and Cisco confides his biggest fear to Camilla. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting synopsis. Obviously, we do have a returning character who we haven't seen in ages come back for this episode, but also we do have a main villain reveal and a couple of Team Citizen storylines too, which I'll be breaking down. So firstly, going over the first line of the synopsis, Barry seeks out Timeless Wells. After devastating betrayal, Barry turns to Timeless Wells for help. So first things first, Timeless Wells is back for this episode. Obviously, we were able to predict that the original Timeline Wells would be back for this episode before this synopsis even came out, and that was due to the episode 9 title being titled Timeless, and during episode 3, this version of Wells was referred to as Timeless Wells. Now, it will be interesting to see whether Wells becomes a full-time Team Flash member after this episode, or will he go on to do his own thing after he's helped Team Flash. I would guess he would become a series regular after this episode, but I'm not sure. Tom Cavanagh has been filming, so I'm leaning along the lines that he is still here after episode 9. But yeah, there is a devastating betrayal, and as you guys would be able to tell, this betrayal is the Speed Force. So yeah, the Speed Force, Nora, is the main villain for this graphic novel. And yeah, my theories have been correct. But it will be interesting to see what her endgame with these forces are. We do know that in the comics, Hunter Zolomon aka Zoom had this plan to take control of all the forces. But maybe the show is doing their own take of the storyline, but instead of it being Zoom, it ends up being the Speed Force for the show. Now, it will also be interesting to see if my theory about the lightning colors were correct as well, That's basically, for those who don't know, where her lightning colors are symbolic of the different forces. So red being the strength force, blue being the sage force, and yellow obviously being her natural color, the speed force. Because as I mentioned before during my past videos, during season 6, the speed force's lightning color was yellow and white. It was never blue or red. It never had traces of blue and red on it. It was just white and yellow. Now yes, you guys could argue that once Barry entered the Speed Force during Enter Flash time, you do see these multiple different lightning colors, but I just don't think that it's a coincidence that they changed the Speed Force's lightning colors when it fits the forces itself. I think that there is actually a connection between that. So maybe she has these lightning colors because when she faced off against them at first, well, them being the forces, she absorbed some of their powers. And I'm talking about Psyche and Fore over here, but not entirely. And then Psyche and Fore were able to eventually take her down, leaving her vulnerable. And then during episode 5, she obviously first appears and asks Barry for help. Now the reason she doesn't have green lightning is obviously because she didn't know about Dion until episode 6. Now, it will be interesting to see if my theory about her using Nora's face to manipulate Barry works as well. Because remember guys, this is the Speed Force, and before, we were able to see her turn into various different characters. We've seen her become Joe at one point, we've even seen her become Iris at one point. So she doesn't just have that Nora Allen body, she can choose whatever body she wants. So it'll be interesting to see if she specifically chose the body and face of Nora Allen on purpose to easily manipulate Barry and basically have a face that Barry really trusts. And if this does actually end up becoming true, that will be really cool, because imagine how Barry would react to this. This person or this being which puts the body of his own mother, and that is specifically chosen to manipulate Barry and basically gain Barry's trust so easily. Just think about how Barry would react to that. He would be broken, and he would obviously be devastated by that, because just because it was the face of Nora Allen, he easily trusts the Speed Force because it's a face which he trusts. It's the face of his own mother, so he would obviously trust that no matter what. So it would be very interesting to see how Barry actually reacts to this if this does actually end up becoming true. But moving on, Barry turns to Timeless Wells for help. So yeah, as I have mentioned during this video, Timeless Wells will be returning for this episode. Now the thing with Timeless Wells is, we know that he has the ability to travel through time, and he does have green colored powers. So can he also be someone who uses the Still Force as well? That would be pretty interesting to see, but I'm not entirely sure. Now, last we saw of Wells, we obviously saw him go back in time to relive all of his moments with Tess Morgan again and again. Well, that is at least what he mentioned. Maybe he's actually gone to do other stuff, we don't know. But if Wells actually went back in time, all the way back there, to relive his moments with Tess Morgan, and Barry needs to reach out to him, could we potentially end up seeing Barry time travel to the past to go up to Wells and ask for help? Or do Team Flash basically summon him in a way? I'm not entirely sure. I would rather have Barry time travel to the past and bring in Wells, because that would just be pretty cool to see. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Now, it will also be interesting to see why exactly Team Flash would need Wells' help specifically. We do know that during episode 3, he definitely knew that something was going on when Team Flash were reviving the Speed Force during episode 3. He did see something happening outside of Star Labs. We do know that for a fact. So I am guessing that he knew about the forces already, and this would lead to Barry and Team Flash going up to Wells and asking for help. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what is going on. Now, lastly, to go over with the synopsis. Meanwhile, Iris leads Team Citizen down a dangerous road in search of answers, and Cisco confides his biggest fear to Camilla. Now, this is also very interesting because for the past couple of episodes, Iris has literally done nothing. So, episode 4, she's obviously had that great storyline of her basically overcoming her fear and the trauma she's faced once being out of the Mirrorverse. And then episode 5, 6 and 7, she has literally done nothing. So I'm glad to see her going back to this Central City stuff, because That storyline with Iris doing her Central City citizen stuff is just very interesting, and I love it whenever she does it. In season 6, it was one of the better parts of the season, so I like the idea of them giving Iris something to do. And obviously this is Team Citizen going back to normal, so Allegra is here, and also we do have Camilla returning as well. Now through set photos, we do know that Team Flash will be going after this company called Lesla. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what is going on with that. And we do have Camilla returning, as I said, for this episode. Lots of people forgot about her because we haven't seen her for a while. But yeah, she is back for this episode. And we do also have the synopsis talking about Cisco confiding this biggest fear to Camilla. I'm very interested to see what it is. I'm interested to see if it has some links to what Psyche made Cisco see during episode 5. Because we ended up seeing Barry's and Frost's vision, but we never saw Cisco's. So I'm wondering if they do a callback to that, and we have Cisco talking about what he saw when Psyche basically made him vision something. That would be very, very interesting to see. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below what you guys are most looking forward to going into episodes 8 and 9. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.